welcome to once again to Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. This is our 30th episode, and 30 episodes would not be possible without you, the audience. So thanks for watching and sending in all those comics, because we couldn't do it, of course, without you guys. Right, Steve?
Absolutely. We've been kind of floored with the response. I can't believe we're up to 30 videos. When we started this thing, I didn't know.
I think I just contacted you just to talk to you one time, and that's how we got started.
Yeah, we did an interview, and
it was about, and then we decided, well, maybe we ought to look at, maybe we could review some comics.
Yeah, they just took off. So
yeah,
great to be here. 30 episodes in.
Yep. So, what do you want to do? What's that?
I have a box of magic.
Oh, okay.
That's the wrong box. The real box is right here. This one, I just got back from Kinko's and FedEx. It's FedEx Kinko's. And I have the new UFO newsletter, Tetragrammaton Fragments, is inside this box.
Oh.
It's not collated, stapled, or anything. So I worked hard on this thing. This thing
I know you did.
76 pages long.
Yeah.
I'll just show you guys really quickly. This is the group that I'm the chairman of, and the group is expanding. We're getting new members, and here's the covers.
Oh, neat! Wow.
By John Muller.
Okay.
And Rob Cooley.
Oh, okay.
The covers in color. The insides are in black and white, but very happy with the way this thing turned out. It'll be out by tomorrow night, because I got to collate this thing and fold it and staple it and all that kind of stuff. But
go to the post office on Monday,
or tomorrow night. On Sunday night I can drop them in the drop box.
Oh, you can.
But those are going to, and you're going to get a copy too, Larned. You're on the list.
All right. Well, we will review that on here.
If you're a UFO member, you get this for free. If you're not a UFO member, it's $3.50 a copy. I raised the price. It was $3, but I'm sorry, but this stuff costs.
Yeah, it's inflation.
It's inflation. Even Kinko's is afflicted by inflation. It's a terrible thing.
Amazing, isn't it?
But we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And now we'll get down to the real business of the day.
Why we're here. Exactly. Okay. What do you got?
Bad.
Oh, man. Bad.
I got bad, man.
This is amazing. I'm a Mad Magazine fan all my life, since I was a little kid. Patterned all my
me too.
And everything.
I always loved Mad Magazine.
What they did in Mad Magazine, that's what I've always done. And then when Dan Burke did this, I said, man, I got to have one of those.
Dan is just amazing.
Yeah.
He's so talented, and he's so hilarious, and his satirical instincts are dead on. I mean, this stuff is so funny.
The amazing thing, it looks just like a Mad Magazine with the type of fonts he used, the style he did it. Everything looks exactly like a Mad Magazine.
Yeah, the fonts and everything.
I mean, I don't know how he did this, because it looks so much like a real Mad Magazine. I can't believe it.
And there's so much hilarious.
He did the whole thing. He didn't have any help. This is all him. The whole book. It's amazing.
Great. It's really great. He's got stuff, he's like there's this, let me see, a free poster. He advertises a free nude poster.
Yeah.
Okay? One piece at a time. But
Yeah.
you don't get to see the poster
Yeah.
right away. You can only see one
Right.
piece. In this case, it's the eyeball.
Yeah. You just get the
So
eye the first time,
you
and then
get
you
the
work from
eyeball,
there. Yeah.
and eventually, this one was the original poster. It took place in 1949, the hottest girl of 1949. So he put all the pieces together, but what you see is how she looks today at 97 years old. So she looks like this.
That's what you get in the end of the poster.
Right,
Yeah.
but in 1949,
Yeah.
she looked like this. But you don't get to see that anymore. You know, they have to update things. So
Now
there
here's
is so
the
much.
other amazing thing about this is not only did Dan Burke do all this, he even draws in the style of some of the Mad Magazine artists in the past, like this over here and
Mhm.
here. So some of these look just exactly like, the guys that originally did them. I I just can't get over it. It is
Yeah.
so amazing that he did that.
Yeah, he even has a Sergio Aragones.
Yes, Sergio Aragones, take a look at that. He draws just like
Incredibly
him.
detailed,
Yep, with all the little cartoons. Um,
just amazing, just hilarious.
if you look at the bottom of some of the pages, you'll see the little cartoons that run along the bottom, just like Mad Magazine did on each page.
Well, that's what it's like Sergio Aragones used to
Yes,
do.
that's what he used to
Um,
do. And I mean, I'm flabbergasted by this. And the other thing is, his #2 is out already. I understand.
yeah, he sent me a message, and we're going
Yeah,
to be receiving a copy of that one too.
yeah.
So
Now that one, I think he did a little different. But anyway, I'm sure it's going to be great. This one, by the way, is 84 pages.
84
That's
pages,
84 pages.
quality full color covers, quality
Covers
stock paper. It's
and it. I'm telling you, it looks
some of
just
this.
like Mad
It's just
Magazine.
great. There's parodies, movie parodies.
Oh yeah.
But you wouldn't see this in Mad Magazine because the name of this parody of Planet of the Apes is Monkey Business on the Planet That Went Ape Shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And it, and it's practically a scene by scene or episode by episode takeoff on
Yeah.
the original Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of stuff here.
And there's
These
also
guys,
a parody of Carpenter's The Thing. Now this one is
John
The Thingy.
Carpenter's The Thing.
The
With Kurt
Thingy.
Russell, right?
I think it was.
Yeah, Kurt
And
Russell.
of course, this is called The Thingy, but you can see it's got that thing that comes out of the guy's chest.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah,
It's
I
in
remember that very well. I saw that
Yeah.
movie in the theaters when it
Yeah.
first came out. And there was a lot of grossness, and he parodies the grossness and makes it hilarious.
Yeah.
So
The Thingy kind of looks a little bit like Alfred E. Newman, if you notice.
right, I saw that. He pops in there. He pops in there somewhere. Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just amazing. I don't know how long it took him to do this, but
Yeah.
and he's even got good old Alan Freeman's guys in here.
Yeah, and you know what that is? You know what that is? I don't know if you've seen it, but Alan Freeman
His
and
movie.
Dean LaCrone did a movie. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I saw it. Sure.
Yeah,
A couple times.
I didn't finish. I watched like a third of it, and then I got sidetracked. But I have it saved to my computer somewhere, and I need to see
Yeah.
it. So this is apparently a parody of that
Yes,
movie,
it is.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of he just throws it in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually, I'm trying to see, I can't remember if he actually parodied the whole, yeah, he's got the people from, it's No Cost in the Outdoors.
Yep.
The movie is Lost in the Outdoors.
Right.
but
The
she's
one I
in
saw
it.
was hilarious.
The woman you see there is
Yep.
exactly what she looks like in the movie, and Dean LaCrone looks exactly like that.
Alan Freeman looks the way he does.
Yeah, yeah.
He always has Alan Freeman looks 6 inches shorter than Dean LaCrone. I
That's
have
not
met
Alan
Alan
Freeman. That's not Alan. That's the other actor. I don't remember his
Oh,
name.
that's the other guy.
Alan is over here in the corner.
Where'd
Way
Alan
down
go?
over in the corner over here. Let me see if I can get that. Over here. That's
Oh, that's not Alan Freeman.
right
I've
there.
met Alan Freeman. He doesn't look like that.
Well, I think that's maybe not, but I think that's
I don't know. It's been a long time since I saw Alan, so he may have changed over
He
the
doesn't have hair
years.
like that, but I think he just threw that in.
But this is just great, and the artwork is gorgeous. I mean, it's hilarious. It's also Mad Magazine-ish, and
Oh yeah.
the way they do that, and it's kind of cool that Mad Magazine parodies movies and TV shows and all kinds of stuff. And here we have a parody of something that a small presser did, that a couple of
Yeah.
small pressers did. And
And
that's
I
really
don't
cool.
know
It's unique.
if anybody else has ever attempted this, but
Oh,
you'd have to go a long way to beat this.
first time I've
This
seen it.
is
But these two guys are geniuses when they get together. Um, Alan Alan Freeman is so talented, and Dean LaCrone's one of the funniest
oh
guys
yeah,
on the planet.
great comedian. Yep.
So
Yep.
next to Dan Burke.
Yeah.
Dan Burke,
Apparently.
when he
Yeah.
puts it all together, it's really great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just
And he's got letters right there. Of course, there couldn't be any letters for the first issue, but
I,
it is funny.
yeah. So the letters are pretty crazy. Let me see
Very
what we got
funny.
over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, we just love this. I mean, it just,
I am embarrassed to read bad magazine in front of any human beings. What can I do? They said, we know the shame and social cost from reading bad magazine. We have a fast solution. Paste on book covers that make you look smart to those judgmental suckers around you. And it says just turn to page 80, and then they have some book covers elsewhere. You
Yeah.
can glue those over the top.
and nobody will know you're reading
Problem
bad
solved.
magazine.
So instead of seeing a bad magazine,
Yeah,
they're going
it's
to
got-
see this.
yeah, right.
There's other
Now,
references.
Actually, I do remember that Mad Magazine did that same thing. They did that, and they had, very serious covers that you could put over the magazine, like you were very intelligent and everything. Dan's covers, maybe not that intellectual. But I was going to say, even the, if I can get this, even the table of contents, if you look at that right there, that is exactly the way Mad Magazine did it. With that same type, with that format and everything. Exactly the same.
There's something here done by Dave Burke, which is Dave Berg. Originally would have been Dave Berg.
Yeah.
The funnier side of mass extinctions. I mean,
yeah.
They're not
And
afraid
that
to
is-
make fun of anything.
And that's the one that's drawn in one of the style of one of the mad artists. I don't remember which one, but
Dave
it's
Berg.
definitely.
It says Dave Berg, but Dave Burke. Now, what I remember is Dave Berg. Been a while since I read Mad Magazine, but I'm thinking that's the one.
You think? I can't remember. Is that? But anyway, the style looks just like him. So
Yeah.
anyway,
We missed the original Mad Magazine, but I'll tell you what, this is
this is
it's just about as good as the original
is as
Mad
good.
Magazine.
Yeah, it is.
So Dan, terrific job. We are
What
floored.
a great book.
Yeah, couldn't recommend this more. Could not more highly
You
recommend.
got to have one of these. It's just if you're a Mad Magazine fan at all, I know you'll order one. So
Yeah.
all right, what do we got next? We got a big show today, so we got to keep moving along.
Look at this. You see this?
Oh yeah, Yeah, I
See,
remember that from
there
Planet
they are.
A.
They're in a raft on the river. They just land on this other planet. I just want to mention this real quick because the dialogue says, one guy says, one thing I'm sure, we're about 200 light years from Earth. And the other guy says, if only there was a small clue, something we could use to figure out
Yeah,
where we
where
are.
they're at. Yeah, I don't know. You know, you look around, you don't see
No
anything.
clue.
No, not an idea where they were. Oh man,
Typical Dan Burke humor.
we could do every
So
page in
funny.
that book. You know, a whole show on every page in that
Yeah,
book.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
What a great effort.
yeah,
Really terrific job, Dan.
yeah.
Thanks for sending us that.
Yep, appreciate it. Although I did buy one, so I had two.
Oh yeah, you bought
Yeah,
one for me, didn't you?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh wow.
I bought one for you, and now I got two.
Well, send it to someone. There must be
I'm
somebody
trying to
out there.
think of a contest. We'll have to think of something.
Yeah. And sometimes Larned and I will do that. I'll buy something for him, and then he
Yeah,
ends up getting it anyway. But you
yeah.
don't
Didn't
know.
know he bought it. He's going to
So this is
surprise me, and I
really
already
cool.
bought it. Yeah,
This is really cool. You got to see it. So I'll
yeah,
buy a copy and send it to him, or what, vice versa. But
yeah.
that's that's because we're crazy about we love this. We love small press, and we love all this kind of stuff that we're getting. So
All right, let's
of course,
keep
I'm
on
not going
going
to
here.
discourage you people from sending us free copies, but
Yeah, right. Yeah.
no, but we
Uh,
really do appreciate it, and we are promoting everything that you guys do. That's Yeet.
Yeats presents
Yeet
number
presents
52.
number 52. This is the
On
cover
this side is Susie Steam, and
based
on
on
this
the
side,
Shane Luttrell character.
uh-huh,
The other side,
is I forgot his
William
name.
Messner Loebs, or Bill
Loeb. Yes,
Messner Loebs.
Loeb. Yeah.
And this is a stunning issue as well. This is stunning, much more serious, perhaps, than a bad
Yeah,
magazine.
this
But
one is a little hard to follow, maybe.
okay, this is cool. This is
Uh-huh.
cool because what we have here, it tells you here, we got an illustration by Bill Messner Loebs. I guess
Hmm.
that's how it's pronounced,
I think.
William. And what this is, if you look through, he's got a little bit of an editorial up here. And apparently, DC Comics a while back, and he's a professional. He wrote The Flash and other stuff for DC and wrote for
Right.
other companies, and they were looking for they wanted to break into the bookstore market with autobiographical comics.
Hmm.
And Bill, apparently he wrote and drew 130 pages of an autobiographical comic about himself.
Hmm.
And so that's what this is. And the story is
Now
just
take a look,
astounding.
because Bill
Gripping.
only has one arm
He actually has one arm.
in real life. He only
Yeah.
has one arm.
And he talks about, and he's achieved this massive body of work, this great body of work, with one arm. As a picture of him somewhere in here.
Yeah, there's a picture in here of him, and you can see that he only has one arm, and I'm trying to
He's
find
got his drawing board.
He's at the drawing board. Where'd that
And
picture go?
doesn't here it is. Doesn't hinder him a bit. I mean, and I
Oh.
never realized. I'm
And
sorry, but
And
I
he's
could-
left-handed. I couldn't draw a thing left-handed. Look at
Yeah.
that.
and I thought that, well, I'd heard his name. I didn't really follow DC Comics perhaps when he was
No, I
going.
didn't
He was
either.
in the 70s or 80s, whatever it was. But I missed out somewhere along the line. Of course, I'm the classic comics man on another YouTube channel, but the stuff I grew up on, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and other stuff came along. And apparently Bill came along during that period, and somehow I missed out. But this guy, Bill, I'm floored. I didn't realize you were such a great talent, a great writer,
Yep.
and a great artist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about how he worked for comics.
Yeah.
And at one point, he became unemployed,
Yep.
and
That's
he
what
was
it
out
says.
collecting cans
Yeah.
to make money. And this is
Yeah.
an autobiographical thing, so apparently this is true.
I
He
guess that
has
really
funny
happened.
characters, and he throws in some gags along the way. Um, he even apparently he lost his home. He ended up in a mobile home.
Mm-hmm.
And he just details all of this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a little depressing story, but
A little
the
depressing.
artwork is fantastic.
Yeah, I love his artwork. It's very
Yeah.
stylized.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know of anyone with a style exactly like this.
Not quite, no.
Yeah.
And the
Um,
grays really help and all that. That really
yeah.
makes the
And they
great
say at the
comic.
end um, there's somewhere in here there's a note about how they're going to continue that he'd drawn 130 pages, but they weren't completed,
Mm-hmm.
and the screens weren't necessarily of the grays. The inks weren't necessarily added to some of it, but an awful lot of it was done. And DC decided to discontinue their series of biographical comics
Yeah.
after he had done all this
All
work.
that
So
work.
it was like fear. So it was lost, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't lost because he still has it.
Yeah. So he can do what he wants with it.
Right. And they're going to bring it back, and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
finish this. There's
Yeah.
a spirit connection here. Will Eisner and the spirit.
A company like DC, they probably did some kind of marketing survey and decided, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah. That's
and
why
this
we
is
have
published
small
by
press, because in small press you can do it.
right. And this is published by Scott Muller. Right? No, I'm thinking about something else. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well, then we move on to
that's
the
not it. Mike Jones. Mike Jones is the guy who does Yeet.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this
This
is Susie Steam.
Shane Luttrell.
Um,
Shane Luttrell wrote the story.
yes.
He
Yes.
didn't do this cover, but he's the letterer and he's the writer, and he's rapidly becoming one of my favorite small press creators.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this great
Yeah.
cover.
And this is a story of Susie Steam,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of an everyday, what she does, kind of everyday kind of thing.
This one's kind of poignant with the little doggy.
Yeah. Got the dog and everything, and
Okay, that beautiful inside front cover was drawn by Doug Curtis.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Now right in the middle of the story, you'll see
Mhm.
these cards,
yeah,
and it says who did the art. Real little lettering in each.
and there's
in
a number of people.
Numbers.
Number
The
of people.
cards are numbered, and the artists are up in the top here, very small.
Yeah, and
lettering.
Shane Luttrell is an artist. He's a writer. He's an artist also. He did this
Yeah,
one.
he did that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other artists did these. So those are collectible Susie's Theme cards.
Susie Steam, interesting character. That story,
Look at
that
this.
story she wrote. Right. Who did that one?
I was going
Did
to
Shane do that, or
see who did that.
he did? Shane
Luttrell did that
Shane
too.
himself drew
Yeah.
that double-page spread.
Yeah, he did
So
that
you
too.
see, he's extremely talented as a writer and an artist, and
Yeah.
really into some, far out science fiction type stuff, but also down home. I mean, this earlier story that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we have this lady, Susie Steam, who can repair spaceships, and she has her spaceship in for maintenance. And she asks her doggy. She has a doggy. It looks like a German Shepherd. And she asks him, can you bring me this tool? Can you bring me that tool? Because she's lying underneath the
working on the ship.
something, and but the doggy doesn't bring the right tool, so it hurts the doggy's feeling, and the doggy runs off.
My
But
dog
at
never
the
brings the
end,
right tools either. Come to
but at
think of
the end, they make up. She gives the dog a big hug,
it. Mhm.
and
That's
it's
kind
a
of the,
happy ending.
yeah, that's kind of the end, you know. And we have the big splash page, and then we move into uh, Thunder Agents, I believe.
It's, so what if the Thunder Agents
And
had been cute, cuddly animals?
you know whose style this is drawn in?
It's based on Wally Wood.
Wally Wood. Another
Definitely.
Mad, well, maybe the most important Mad magazine artist there was.
And the most important artist for Tower Comics, who did the Thunder Agents as well.
You're not kidding. It's
And Wally Wood, he
really
also had something to
well
do with the
done.
early issues of Daredevil. Wally Wood was one of the early artists for that. But he's one of the all-time greats. You know, we miss him. Apparently, this story
This is drawn by James Fry in 1983.
is actually written. Yeah, you're right, and
Yeah.
written by Charlie Boatner, but it
Mhm.
wasn't inked until last year, 2021,
Yeah,
by
it was
Adam
drawn in 83 and inked in 21 by Adam DeCracker.
Here we have a satire on the watcher. He's watching, and he's I got a mop and a bucket, and he talks in a funny accent. I watch the floors, I watch the ditches, I watch the windows, and while I've been watching windows, I watch people.
If you look at the guy with the pipe,
Really funny.
that is how you know this is patterned after Wally Wood. If you look at the guy with the pipe,
oh, absolutely.
that's a Wally Wood cartoon right there. Yep.
Yeah. But the Thunder Agents, the original Thunder Agents, and they had a character called the Raven, which I also have a character called the Raven, but that's just coincidence. And I hope
Copyright.
I don't think I'll get sued because I've been using my character for 40
No, you
years.
sue them.
Yeah, I should sue them. I've been using my character for 50 years. So,
yeah.
Anyway, but their character is an actual bird. It's an actual raven.
It's a raven, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he has the powers of their version of of the raven, and they have a No Man. Now, No Man was an android. Was a guy who his brain was transplanted into an android body, and No Man this time is
Dynamic Duck.
He's a hamster.
Oh, I was thinking it was Dynamic Duck.
That one comes along in a little bit. He was a hamster.
This one.
And they call him No Hamster. But the thing about hamsters is they reproduce like rabbits. So after a while, there are a whole lot of no hamsters in this story, confronting the inevitable bad guys. And that duck does come along, Dynamo Duck.
There he is. Yep.
There he is.
So it couldn't get much crazier.
Yeah.
But if you like crazy,
Dynamo Duck or Dynamo Duck.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, what Mike Jones is doing with Zeet is just Yeet, not Zeet. With Yeet is just amazing. He's got the best talents you could possibly imagine assembled here.
You know, here's the last panel, and this talks about what's the Dread Circle, and these are the guys.
Yeah.
It says right in the bottom, to be confounded.
To be confounded by you.
To be confounded.
We're confounded by it, no doubt.
Yeah.
A little bit later, we got Shane Luttrell again because he's a terrific writer. He's so prolific. He's writing a lot of stuff, and he does a story by our old pal whom we interviewed recently, Steve Shipley.
Oh, that's right.
This one is The Dog Knows a Secret.
Yep.
So what happened? You got this super happy guy. This guy is so happy that his coworkers resent him. They think something must be wrong with him.
There's such a thing as being too happy, and apparently this guy is it.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm happy. Everything's great. You know, he's constantly saying how happy he is, and these people said there's got to be something wrong with him.
He's driving everybody nuts because he's happy. Oh my gosh.
So
But did
yeah,
Steve
I
write
can't I
this?
can't tell you the ending, but he gets committed because somebody
Oh,
they contact somebody and they're able to get him committed, but that's not the end of the story because remember this guy is one heck of a happy guy,
oh yeah.
and I
I was
think
just going to say Shane Luttrell wrote this, so I can't, I wasn't sure if Steve wrote it. Steve did the art and lettering, so Steve Shipley, but Shane Luttrell wrote it.
Steve Shipley he's producing some of his best work I think of his entire career right now.
Never seen Steve do anything quite like this. Have you? This is different.
Not exactly,
No.
but then he didn't write it, and it's not a superhero story.
No, it's yeah, completely different for Steve.
I don't know. In fact, this guy kind of looks like Steve.
Maybe,
A little bit.
Maybe.
No,
We have
Steve,
to ask Steve about
he's got a
that.
goatee. It's not that long.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to ask Steve about that, I guess. So those are the couple of stories that are in here. There's I don't know who did this. There is a page right here. I don't know who did that.
And which side is that on?
Fat Billy's story, but now the Fat Billy story
Fat Billy must be on this side.
by Kevin Gleason.
Okay.
So that's a one page.
Oh, I see it.
We don't want to give anything away, so you can't look at it too long.
Kevin Gleason, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you
Pretty
have to.
That's funny stuff.
Yeah.
Cinder box fruit is mine, mine, mine. Yep. Apparently, this guy really likes this candy. He eats so much of it that his cheeks pop out like this.
Yeah. Don't give away the ending.
Another great talent.
Because they got to buy the. Now, these you get by subscribing to their Patreon page. And then every time it's $5, but only when an issue comes out.
Right. I think you can order back issues for like $3. But
what?
Yeah, I believe you can order back issues for like $3.
$3. Yeah, but I think these are $5.
There's one side. Here's the other side. Bill Messner Loebs.
Yeah.
So Shane Luttrell. You got.
So you want to make sure you get the book right side up when you read it. It'll be difficult.
Yeah. Excuse me, folks. I have allergies.
You got more stuff.
Now we got more stuff. Now this one, this is didn't have time to read all of these.
Oh,
you have 3 issues of Bronze Knuckles, which is
Bronze Knuckles. These are also associated with Yeet, but this is a little different. Now, these are not comic books, which caused Steve and I the problem of we would have to read. And that
it's a lot to read, but really because it's Scott Mollon and he sent us 3 issues. Yeah. So I am reading them slowly. I'm getting there.
But it's heavy reading. Not heavy, I don't mean heavy, but I mean there's a lot of reading. There's a lot to the stories. Now each one of these stories in the first issue are continued into the second issue.
Into the second and third issues.
Yeah, I mean, the second
great
issue.
Covers here.
Yeah, but there is a lot of artwork in here. Look at this. There's a lot of artwork.
Right. I read that particular story. So I did read much of the first issue, about 2/3 of it. Look at the covers here. Oh my gosh.
Covers are amazing. Yeah.
Look at this. Look, Nosferatu. I don't know if it's Nosferatu or not because I haven't read that story, but it sure looks like him. And so again, our pal Shane Luttrell is involved in this. He wrote something called Moon Treader. He's writing a series called Moon Treader. In this issue, it's that particular picture that you just showed was drawn by Kent Clark.
Kent Clark. That's Kent Clark's work.
It's got to be a pseudonym. Do you think that's a pseudonym, Kent Clark, or is it just like a happy
think
accident?
that's probably his real name. I don't know.
But
I don't know why, but I would think that might be his real name. I don't know.
But
he could be Superman because he does draw well.
I was reading this, and apparently there's a magical There's a magical kingdom called Farthingshire, and there are knights and monsters and elves and all kinds of things involved here. And the one that you showed before was a knight. Here he is again.
Yeah.
This guy. And he's going off in search of the king, because the king, I guess he's senile or whatever, he keeps wandering off. He keeps wandering off, and somebody has to go find him. And he befriends this elf. The elves are always helpful to the people in this particular kingdom. They're always helpful, and they're always magical. And this particular elf is Moon Treader, and she is 4 feet 3 inches tall. And
guess what?
Beautiful.
We switched sides. I bumped the mouse, and somehow we're on different sides of the screen. You see it?
I don't see that. That's cool. It doesn't matter. It works.
Okay.
It makes for variety, and variety is the spice of life.
It was a brilliant accidental move.
Folks, if we switch.
Know how I did it, but I did it. Anyway.
Did we switch? Yeah. I don't know. I'm so into the story, I'm not paying that much attention. But
yeah.
Anyway, it's an adventure, and yes, there's a lot to read. So I know a lot of comic book fans are like, I want to read comics. I don't really read text. It's a lot of work to read. If I wanted to read books, I'd read books. But I like comics, so I read comics. Well, I try to, I wish I had read more novels and books and things. I read Edgar Rice Burroughs when I was younger, and H.P. Lovecraft and a lot of things. But my love is for comics. Yeah. And I respect all the great writers out there.
Sure.
Ray Bradbury, I was a huge fan of his. Arthur C. Clarke. And
there's creator profiles in the back of this book.
And before there were comics, there were pulp magazines. Pulp magazines were around first.
Yeah.
And Jim Maine publishes a magazine devoted to a pulp and pulp people who love pulp fiction. So
I thought this was just a little interesting thing here.
You said the creator profiles.
Yeah, creator profiles, but one of the biggest creator profiles, that I thought was pretty interesting, was the one Rusty Gilligan.
Oh, Rusty Gilligan, yeah, I know that guy.
He has done everything. If you read this, he's done everything, and it winds up toward the end. Also, a professional wrestler.
Holy cow! He was on television in Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, he was on in all kinds of shows and everything. And he has a huge creator profile, and he has one little illustration in the book right there. That's it.
Oh, that's the heap. That's the
him.
Heap. That's another story that I was reading here that's interesting.
Yeah.
The Heap was like the forerunner of Swamp Thing and Man Thing. Back in the 1940s and 1950s, the Heap was around. Yeah. And there's a story here, Ulysses Solomon, occult paranormal detective
meets the Heap.
Meets the Heap.
Yeah.
And this guy's actually on a case where he's goodness, I read this like a week ago, so I have to kind of glance back through it real quick. But he has to search for someone, and it takes place in Florida too. So they have the swamps and all that stuff.
Yep. So, I mean, this has just got some great stories. And
We were talking about the heap, though.
yeah, we were talking about the heap. Yeah.
The heap is interesting because this character's been around since the 40s and 50s, and he also was revived at some point by a couple of publishers. I think Skywald Comics
Mm.
revived the heap for a little while, but with a different look.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking into the history a few days ago, and apparently this character's popped up here and there, but has been totally replaced by Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
Swamp Thing. There's Man Thing, but Swamp Thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's the one.
Oh.
Man Thing's okay, but Swamp Thing was the best. So he had Bernie Wrightson artwork and all that stuff. So
And this is issue number 2.
yeah.
And I wanted to show you something in here. It's again, continued stories from the first one.
Yeah.
But in here is a special announcement for a Halloween issue, horror stories and all kinds of stuff, scary stuff that they're going to be producing.
Oh, I see it. There it is.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be something to look forward to, I think.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention that because the way Bronze Knuckles works is like Yeet. You subscribe to their Patreon page, and then anytime an issue comes out, they will charge your account for $5.
Okay.
So I will put that down in the description also, so you know that's how
Okay.
you get these.
But about Bronze Knuckles number 2, the
Mhm.
cover is a continuation of the story from number 1, Moon Treader, and this
Mhm.
cover is drawn by Shane Luttrell.
Shane Luttrell. Okay.
We
He's
know
a
him as
very
a great
busy guy.
writer, but
He
he's also a
writes,
heck of an artist.
he writes a lot and he draws a lot.
Very busy guy.
Yeah, he's got to be
And,
pretty busy. Now, not all of the artists in this issue are the same as the first one.
Mhm.
Some are, but not all of them. So you get a little different take on some of the art. There's some Rusty Gilligan. Now, I don't know if he would have, you think he drew that, or is that clip art?
Rusty Gilligan is a good artist, so
Buggy.
it might be. I'm not sure, actually.
I don't know, but I think probably he drew that. Anyway, he's in
Probably.
here.
So Moon Treader, more art from Moon Treader by Kent Clark.
Yeah.
Clark, here we go. It's an
Yeah.
exciting. I haven't read this issue, so I haven't read this story, but it looks like it's going to be pretty exciting. So yeah, and
So it's got, let's see here, we got
Scott Mollon.
1, 2,
Scott
3,
Mollon.
4 stories in here, and they are continued from the first book.
And he's got QR codes all over the place. If you got a QR code here on the back cover, if you want to subscribe, you want to follow. This
You
is all
want to do any of that, you can
new
use
to
your
an
phone.
old-fashioned guy like me, but
Yeah, it doesn't work for me either. I wouldn't know what to do.
yeah, well,
I just go on the Patreon
we're old
page.
geezers.
Yeah, we don't know what to do with this.
But you young folks, man, you'll know what to do with these QR codes.
Yeah, they do. But you know what I do with my phone? I talk on it.
Oh, you can talk on the phone? Is that right?
That's what I found out.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, what a novelty that is.
I know. Bronze Knuckles number 3. They
That's a
said,
Nosferatu looking cover.
yeah, look at that guy. Woo. And that's by, who's that you say that was by?
Number 3, the cover.
Well, it's Ray, it's Rusty Gilligan and Jay Moores.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh my God! And it
One guy
actually
draws it,
is
one guy
Nosferatu.
paints it?
Look, yeah, it actually looks like there's a story in here. Ichabod Crane Monster Hunter encounters Count Orlok, the Nosferatu. So that's what it's based on, and
Yeah.
which is by John Aaron Mundy and Rusty Gilligan. So Rusty Gilligan on artwork.
Okay.
Um,
So
issue
I
number
guess Rusty
3.
Gilligan did do the cover then.
Yeah, I guess so. But issue number 3 actually has some more comic book stuff, some more comic
It
artwork.
does. It has more comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a wild comic. This
Number
one.
19.
This is Thunder Mouse.
Thunder Mouse by Scott Mollon, the publisher, and Alex Moore.
Not to be confused with Mighty Mouse. This is completely different.
No, this is Thunder Mouse.
This is Thunder Mouse.
Looks good. Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through it
Yeah.
because I haven't read this one yet. I'm so sorry, Scott, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get
Yeah.
there.
Look at that. There he is, Thunder Mouse.
There you
in the
go.
Last
They
panel.
set it too high, so somebody's setting a machine. They're doing something, and then I guess Thunder Mouse was created. And there
Yeah.
he is. What have I become? Somebody set the controls on the machines too high. If you ever did you ever see the very first Mighty Mouse cartoon? The really the very original.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Super Mouse, but DC was going to sue them or whatever, so they changed it to Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
And Mighty Mouse was a scrawny little mouse, but there was a need for a hero, and he went through this place and he found all these vitamins, and he took all these vitamins. He just and then he became Super Mouse, which they changed to Mighty Mouse.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It was one of my favorite
This looks like
cartoons when I was a kid. And I guess I like the comic books too, but I love the cartoons.
I loved Mighty Mouse. I even wrote Mighty Mouse. I wrote Mighty Mouse for Spotlight Comics.
No kidding.
When they had the rights for Mighty Mouse, that was Jim Maine, and I can't remember the other guy.
How did
Alex.
they get the rights to Mighty Mouse?
They had the rights to Mighty Mouse in the late 1980s,
No kidding.
and they were reaching out to a lot of people in the small press community to help out with it. Jim's main, what was the guy's name? Alex Marusio or something like that. Jim will remember. And I wrote an issue. I wrote like 10 scripts. So they actually had the rights to all the Terry Toons characters, which included Tom Terrific and Deputy Dog and a lot of other characters for a little while. And you know, those characters came out. Those books came out not as small press comics, but as professional magazines, and they were distributed on newsstands. I wrote a story that was published in Mighty Mouse #2, and it was they had a Kurt Swan front cover. So that's out there somewhere.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was
That's probably worth a couple mil by now.
I don't know, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
I've wrote a lot. Also Underdog. They had the rights to Underdog, and I wrote an Underdog story. But then what happened after a couple of years? Spotlight Comics went bankrupt, and so they stopped publishing. After that, the rights went to Marvel Comics, and Marvel. Well, we were trying to stay true to the original Mighty Mouse cartoons when we did those stories and make them like the old cartoon shows.
Yeah.
And but Marvel Comics wanted to introduce their own character. They wanted to make it a parody, like not Brand X. They wanted to use Marvel Comics characters like a parody of the Submariner or a parody of this hero or that hero, but it wasn't the same. I actually think we did it better.
Yeah,
Jim, we did it better. If you're watching this, Jim Maine, we did it better.
Look at this. Look at that. The Devil's Left Hand. Created.
I like that artwork.
Yeah. Drawn and lettered by James Francis.
That looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah, I see it here. created, written, and drawn by James Francis.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool stuff here. And William Messner Loebs has an advertisement in these issues. He has an online store of his own where you can order stuff. And I got to tell you, I didn't know that much about him, but now I'm a fan of Bill Messner Loebs. Apparently, this guy is. I missed out. I missed it, but now I'm catching up. It's catch-up time.
This has a few more comics, but it also has a number of stories, so I keep you busy quite a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
These things are great. I'm going to put them over here out of the way so we can go to our next comic, which is, let's do Jim Maine, since we were talking about Jim Maine.
Grim Jim.
Tomb of the Unpublished. And I am a member of the Unpublished in here.
That's right. I saw that cartoon by you. I saw you did a page in here.
So it's just a bunch of random things that Jim had that he couldn't fit in somewhere else, and he put them all in this book. And there's a number of little comics in here.
Here we go. Did you lock that rear door before we took off from Venus?
Very important, because
apparently not. These guys
see what happens if you leave the door open on the planet of Venus.
Yeah, that's what Venusians look like.
Exactly.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yep, that's them. It's totally accurate.
Mm-hmm. I did a lot of research on Venusians for that cartoon.
That's one of many great. There's a lot of great artwork in here.
Oh yeah,
it's a quick read. There's one story. You got art by John Lampert. Oh yeah, that's John Lampert over there. You're showing on one side there.
And there's another one.
Here he is again.
Great artwork.
He is so good. John Lampert's so good.
But if we show all the artwork, nobody will buy the book.
Right.
So I can't show everything, but I love the cover too. Look, who did that cover? Let me see.
Wasn't me. Who was it?
Front cover is Gary Barker.
Oh, Gary Barker. Yeah, our old pal Gary Barker. He lived nearby. He's from the Ringling School of Art. Gary Barker, he's the ghost artist on Garfield. He does the Garfield Sunday.
You talked about him before. I didn't remember the name.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Gary's a superb talent.
How'd you like to have that guy welcome you? Welcome.
Yeah. Looks like, I hate to say this, but it kind of reminds me of my ex-wife.
Oh. Now we're both going to get sued.
She's not going to see this video.
Yeah.
But
here's the back cover. I will show you the back cover. Come in. To the main.
That's cool.
See, Maine is on the door there.
He's at the main.
You have to come in there.
Yeah. But the highlight, I think, of the issue is Verl Bond's comic strip.
Yeah. That's a I don't know how many pages. That's
6 pages maybe. The heart wants what the heart wants. And this guy, apparently there's a lady, and it's raining, it's pouring down, and her car breaks down. And there's a guy, he stops to help her, and she's so beautiful that he's smitten with her. And and Verl's artwork, he really does make her look beautiful.
Oh yeah.
There's something about it. There's a simplicity to Verl's artwork, but yet there's also a realism. It's like
don't let her fool you. Don't let her fool you. She may look beautiful and very innocent.
Right.
But beware.
They're trapped there in that car in the rain. And it turns out there is a.
Don't.
I'm not going to reveal. I'm not going to reveal it. I'm not going to reveal it. But
I will have to shoot you.
There's more to this than meets the eye.
Yes.
If they listen to the radio, they both. How can I say? But love seems to conquer all.
Yeah.
until the very end. You have to check out the story. And Verl is at his very best here. Verl's been doing comics for a long, long time, and this is just great stuff. Even his inks are very. I like his inks are very. They're like somewhat thick lined here, and a little more darkness because he's but a little more darkness than you would see in his usual artwork. And it adds dynamicism to it. It puts the figures in front.
It's very well done. And it's just that we can't show too much because there's a lot of just art in here, and it would spoil it for you.
Yeah, and this guy, Mark Lehrer, he contributes some pretty cool looking stuff. I'm not sure. That looks kind of like Peter Lorre, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it does.
Looks like something, but
this is
really
$4
as well
from Jim Main.
Mm-hmm.
All the info will be in the description below. And I was trying to see let me look at the page count real quick. 28 pages.
Yeah.
So nice little zine.
Oh, there's a Steve Shipley yellow in here.
Yeah.
Something by our pal Steve Shipley, my pal. And it looks like a perfectly normal situation. Guy with a big egg head and a dog with antenna.
Yeah.
So that's the Tomb of the Unpublished.
Right. Okay, so next up I've got Collector's Link Fanzine.
I have that one as well.
Look at that. That's by Alan Sissom.
Helen Sissom.
Yeah.
And
this has
cover. Who did that cover?
Let me see.
It's also presented elsewhere in the issue. I know that. I'm telling you.
I don't see where it says it. But
table of contents seems to start with page 4. But it's a great cover.
The table of contents right there.
Oh, it's Lance Pigeon. Cover art. The Wizards game in women. More. Oh, yeah, it's by Lance Pigeon. It's a picture of Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, and
it says it on the front cover, doesn't it?
Yeah, and later in the issue, here it is on the back cover. It is without all the blurbs.
Oh,
he prints it on the back cover.
Oh, the inside back.
That looks like Alan Moore right there in the middle. These are professional comic book writers.
Yeah, and that's by Lance Pigeon.
Yeah.
That's the inside back.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's very well done.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
This has to be, there's an interview with Rick McCollum in here, and I believe this back cover has to be drawn by Rick McCollum. That looks like his style.
It says Robert E. Howard's Blood and Thunder, but I don't know who drew that.
Based on Robert E. Howard, who created Conan the Barbarian. And but it looks like a Rick McCollum. In fact, there's an interview with Rick McCollum conducted by Jim Main in a series of interviews that Jim is doing. Here's Rick. That's the Rick I know.
That is very interesting. You need to read that. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I didn't know that Rick had done so much, and he did a lot of professional artwork.
Yeah.
And his artwork
is
very intricate and very gritty.
If you look at this, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, I mean, it's amazing. Look at that.
Yeah, that is terrific. That is excellent.
Yeah. Oh, his artwork is great.
He mentioned some of his influences. One of his influences would be Barry Windsor Smith, but I never really noticed that until I saw this picture.
Okay.
And this picture is all the fine lines and if you can see every reed of grass and everything. And that reminds me of Barry Smith. So
but you need to get this and read this. This is I'm sure if you're a fan of comics, you'd like reading this. this interview.
There's a lot of great stuff in there. It's very interesting.
Here's some more samples of his artwork. Look at that. I mean, it's so detailed.
Yeah, there's so much action.
You know.
And on the other page as well, the page next to it as well, there's a lot of action and a lot of detail.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty long interview with a lot of artwork in it.
Great job, Jim Main. Jim, yeah, you get kudos. You got a lot of cool stuff out there. We're talking about you all over the place right now. I hope you're watching. So yeah, that was great. Verl Bond. Here's another. This is Alan's system. Alan's really putting together some fine stuff here. I've always loved his work, and here we got another story by Verl Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Verl's doing a lot of work these days. I'm glad to see him so energized.
And Alan has a continuing story from the last magazine, The Link, that he draws and wrote. So
right.
That's in there.
Yeah, that's a fascinating story.
That's a continuing story from the last issue.
There's an alien probe.
Yeah.
Alien probe looks like a pumpkin, but a metallic pumpkin. And he comes to Earth and he befriends. He has these two young friends, and he's slowly searching for his identity. There he is. And he finds out that his origins is he searches his thoughts, and he's somehow tracking his beginnings, and he finds out that it's had something to do with a rock, a large sentient rock. But there's more to it than that. Yeah. I think there's something human. I think there's a human brain in there somewhere. Meanwhile, these aliens are tracking him. These aliens are coming after him.
Yeah, yeah.
They were the last issue, and here they are again. They're coming back. And these two guys they're friends, but they want to protect their friend.
Yeah.
But they got to deal with these powerful aliens, and yep, they're being pulled along by some sort of energy beam. Someone the aliens make contact. Not only are they pulling in the probe, but they're also pulling in these young folks. We don't know what's going to happen next, and the story is continued. It's a continuing story, and very imaginative. And
you know what else is in here? Our
great
good
work,
friend, Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Lou Brown.
With a Lou Brown story, and I believe, yes, from 2003.
Right, it's a reprint from Larry Johnson.
Yep.
And
Lou Brown goes in for some therapy.
Yeah, it's like the psychologist or psychiatrist that he goes to see is Dr. Charles Young.
Yeah. Keep
based
that
on
name
Carl
in mind.
Young.
Yeah.
Carl Young. This is cool. One thing that happens here, there's sort of a where did this lady come in? There's a lady here.
Yeah.
Who he sort of falls in love with her. I mean, you can see they're sort of
well, she's an artist.
Falling in love.
Yeah, she's an artist.
Right.
And as she's painting Lou Brown's portrait.
Because he's so young and beautiful, so she
yes, because he's a very handsome young guy.
Yeah, like us.
All of a sudden, Lou doesn't look right.
Right, in the mirror. He's like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of like the portrait of Dorian Gray, the great old horror story.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a twist. There's a twist.
Well, it's different, but it's same idea.
I don't want to give away the ending, but
I don't either.
Twist. It's not exactly the same.
No.
So she's using him, and this Dr. Young, the psychiatrist, is he just kind of examines him and talks about him. Says, get in touch with your inner self. Our session has now ended. I shall see you next week. Yes. He doesn't. really provide any answers. The answers are provided via Lou Brown's own personal experiences. And
Yeah.
somehow this guy, he's a normal guy, but somehow he keeps getting involved in supernatural adventures. And this one is quite compelling.
Yeah.
With artwork by Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
He just gets better and better all the time. But
Well, I mean, it's from
he's terrific even
2003,
here.
and it looks great.
2003.
Yeah.
And then 19 years later, he's just as great as ever.
Yeah. Right.
So we certainly appreciate it.
And the other thing we
Larry's
have,
artwork,
which is, you know, important, the xenology report is in the back of this book, and it's got, you know, reviews of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and Larry Johnson helps out in the reviews too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And his review of Sunwing #6, which I published. And thank you guys. Thanks for the nice review. I think Alan wrote that one. Thanks so much.
Yep, there's Sunwing
reviewing
there. So you
one
can
of
find out all
Burlbon's
about
books.
that.
Reviewing Endeavor #15 by Kurt Erickson. We talked about text fiction zines before.
Mm-hmm.
Endeavor #15. Kurt Erickson's been publishing Endeavor for 50 years, but it's a text fiction zine. And the most recent issue, #14, was like 150 pages long, almost all text fiction. So that was quite a read, quite an enjoyable read, because Kurt can pull it off, and he pulls together the best talents you can possibly find. There's a lot of great artwork too, but Kurt, for the first time, is working on #16. #16 is going to be an all comics issue.
Oh, great! All right, send us that.
Yeah, we definitely want to see that one.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to Kurt, because Kurt can write, he can draw, he can do anything, publish, and so.
Collector's Link Fanzine is $6 from Alan Sissom, and once again, we'll have his information down below. These are always great. Always look forward to getting these.
Color covers.
Yeah.
Good
stuff.
I'd like to show one more.
Wait a minute. I gotta say this. The envelope that it comes in is great.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the envelope. He makes the envelope, and you get artwork on the envelope. Yeah.
Right.
It's perfect. That's a great idea.
I had put that aside too. I was going to mention it, and I forgot about it. So thanks for mentioning that. Alan Sissom pulls out the stops. One of his best zines I've ever seen. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, last but not least.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Jim Main.
Jim.
A big book.
Jim, you've completely taken over this episode. You realize this, right?
Yeah, it's a Jim Main show.
It's a special Jim Main edition.
56 pages here.
56.
And it's all
full color pages.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Color.
Beautiful full color pages.
And it's science fiction based.
Mostly
it's all science
Star
fiction.
Trek. Mostly Star Trek.
Mostly Star Trek, I would say, yes.
And but not just Star Trek. Also, he talks about the black hole. That Disney movie that became very popular. The critics hated it, but everybody else liked it.
Yeah.
One thing I like at the end of this, he reprints. There was a Sunday newspaper comic strip of the black hole drawn by Jack Kirby.
Oh, okay.
What was it, in the early 80s? It says here from September 2nd, 1979 to February 24th, 1980. It was a Sunday newspaper strip.
Wow.
And at that time, I think Kirby at that time may have been in a slight decline. He wasn't quite as awesome as he was when he was in the 60s doing Thor and the Avengers and the Hulk and all that stuff. But look at this.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a reprint. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I was looking at that. Yeah.
It was like a revival. He really did a great job on this.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I'm so, it's so cool to have this stuff that
Mm-hmm.
Jim prints here. Thanks Jim for
Yeah.
putting that out there.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Um, and who did
Sure
that
to
back
get something
cover?
special, That's great.
And the fact, I think the back cover is based on that as well, by George A. Lane III. George
Yeah.
Lane did the
Yeah.
back cover.
Yeah, you know George, right?
Right, George. He doesn't live too far from here, and
Mm-hmm.
we haven't met in person, but he's a great guy and a great artist.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's from the Black Hole as well.
Yeah.
So he has a sort of a Kirby-esque style here too.
Yeah.
So, but there's so much more in here.
Oh, yeah. There's all this Star Trek stuff that I
Mhm.
think were originally TV cartoons, weren't they?
Right, the cartoon series that came along years after the original series. The original series only lasted 3 years apparently, and I thought it lasted longer. But from reading in here, I read that the original Star Trek series was canceled after 3 years.
This
Several years later,
cartoons, or is it? You mean the one with the live actors, or are you
yeah,
talking
the
about the
live
cartoon?
action William Shatner and
William
Leonard
Shatner was
Nimoy,
only 3 years.
Kelly, but it was only on for 3 years.
That's
In
amazing.
fact, was it NBC? I think it was NBC. They wanted to cancel the show after the first year or the second year, but the
Mm-hmm.
fans wrote in. The fans, there was a huge. They said no, and there was a
Yeah.
huge letter writing campaign. And they bombarded them and said, "Don't cancel the show."
Hmm.
It seems to me it lasted 4 years or so, but
Well,
maybe it was only 3 years.
I don't
But
know. I don't
the,
remember.
the demand was so great that they had to do something, so they came along with the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Now I watched this cartoon series back in the 70s, and it was really good. It was
Really?
animation, so the animation was somewhat limited, but the
Yeah, I'm sure it was a
characters,
little. I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah,
that kind of
but the
animated.
characters were true to the show. Yeah, there's some great artwork there.
Great.
There's
Just some great artwork in this. This is
a lot of people, a lot of some
this
great artwork
is
from different Star Trek
$8
folks.
basically from Jim Maine. So,
Hmm.
and well worth it. I mean, it's big, lots of stuff in here. You can spend a lot of time in this. Really,
Yeah. I mean,
really
if you're a
nice.
fan of science fiction, if you're a fan of Star Trek, if you're a fan of the Black Hole and the Disney movie, or any of that stuff, you're
Any of
gonna
that
love
stuff,
this.
you'll love this. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Well, I think we have completed. Uh-oh, what's this? Oh,
Two ordinary guys
from
from Jupiter. Number three happened to arrive at my mailbox not too long ago. The two ordinary guys are going to talk about it here just for a
okay.
moment. This is
You
this
see
is in
there?
full color. It doesn't cost $8.
Oh
That's
no,
for
no,
sure.
no. It's
Uh,
$40.
but we've seen these guys before.
Yeah,
These two
they've
ordinary
been
guys
around.
from Jupiter out.
No, they're lost apparently.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're at.
we better land someplace and
Yeah,
ask for directions.
so that's
So
what they
they don't
do.
know. And it
And
looks
they
like
land there, and they're talking to a guy who's on the planet there.
he says, "Can you give us directions on how to get to Jupiter?"
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Are you from Jupiter?" You see that mean
Mm-hmm.
face? He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like too happy about it.
Not happy at all.
And he says, we are at war with Jupiter." Larned wrote and drew this obviously, and I love it because
Oh,
it's in
poop.
full color.
That's not good.
Yeah, oh poop. That's not good. He says, "You spies, get back here." And he tries to arrest them, and well, I don't want to give away the ending, but it's really, really short.
Yeah, you can give it
What
away.
the heck?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. So they get the heck out of there.
Yeah,
But
they're
it's cool
gone.
to have this in person because
That's one of those, one page piece
yeah.
of paper comics
And
that
so
you fold all up.
you folded one sheet of paper down to make all this,
Yeah.
and it comes out like 8 pages.
Yep. Yep.
And
And then I
I
can
like,
never remember how to fold it every
I
time I
like the
go
way
to
it's,
fold one.
really, I
Yeah.
like the way it's in full color. And as
Yeah.
always, Larned's sense of humor is, well, it's Larned's sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know, I can't, sort of laid back, sort of offbeat. And, whenever I read anything that you've written, I can't stop laughing. You really got a great sense of humor. And so
Well,
this is only a small sample of that.
um, well, we have reached the end of episode 30, believe it or not.
You did it.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yay,
You know
us.
what the next episode's going to be?
Number 50.
Yes, the next episode will be number 50. So stay tuned for that.
We're gonna skip 20
It's
episodes.
either 50 or 31. I can't remember.
I think maybe it's 31.
In fact, I'm not sure what comes after 30. I think it's
Yeah.
31.
But
Anyway,
look, we got a lot of cool stuff this time, and we
yeah,
appreciate you guys. Keep
yeah,
sending your stuff. We're going to keep promoting Small Press. I hope this gets a lot of views.
I hope
Hope you
so.
get some orders and
Yep.
stuff, from
And you
this.
can always let us know if anybody
And,
orders anything and mentions they saw it on here.
yeah. Thanks
And
for sending those books.
you can subscribe to this, and you can, after you subscribe, you hit the bell notification, and it will tell you every time we have an episode coming up. Because Steve is so busy doing everything he can think of that we don't know when the next episode will be coming up.
Well, I can tell
have
you,
to
I
watch
finished
for
with
it.
the UFO newsletter, and tomorrow, by tomorrow night, that's going to be out in the mails, and then I can take kind of a break.
Yeah,
We might be able to do a new episode pretty soon.
yeah.
I just had so much come at me at one time, and had to get it all done, including my
Well,
job. I'm still working full time, though I'm
sure.
supposedly retired.
Yeah, he sells drugs on the side,
I sell
So,
drugs legally
oh,
in the pharmacy.
yeah.
Oh, and speaking of retirement, I should get my first retirement check on Tuesday.
Well, you can buy comics then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'll be taking a trip to California to visit a friend the first week in October. So
Okay.
probably we should do a video before then.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah,
gone
we
for
should.
a week.
Yeah, we'll try to get one in before then.
Yeah, I think we should do that. We could do that.
So if you've got any comics out there you'd like to send us, go ahead and send them because we've got room now. We cleaned everything out that we had. So, all right. We will see you next time.
Okay, adios.
Adios.